Very good afternoon to all of you. I welcome you all in the first batch of International Faculty Development Program on the subject 50 plus ways of teaching learning process. This particular FDP is organized jointly by MTC Global Bangalore, Dhaka International University, Dhaka, one of the prestigious private universities in Bangladesh, and Knowledge Cafe Bangalore. Thank you so much once again for joining this international FDP. Let us start the today's program. So this particular FDP is based on one of my books out of 21 books I authored till now in the year 2009, and the book is titled Teaching Learning Process in Management Education by ICFA University Press in 2009. So a lot of different ideas I have touched upon in that particular book, and I thought of sharing with all of you some of the best ways to connect with the students and ensure that students learn what they are supposed to learn. So I welcome you, all of you, once again to this International Faculty Development Program on 50 plus ways of teaching learning process. By learning, you will teach, and by teaching, you will learn. That goes a famous quote. Essentially, if you look at the teaching learning, in fact, there is nothing like teaching. It's all about learning. As the teachers, when we teach, we learn. And when students are asked to make presentation, seminar, paper presentations, and sometimes we encourage the brilliant students to take some of the sessions in the class, so that helps them in the learning process. So fundamentally, there is nothing like teaching. It's all about learning, and this learning continues. Okay, it's a lifelong learning. Everything, no, we cannot learn in one day, and every day there are new concepts which come up. No, so we need to learn, upgrade ourselves so that we can ensure we deliver the best to the students. Mirror, mirror on the wall, and who is the best head of them all? See, we all prepare well. We all are serious. We go to the class, okay, with full preparation, with a mindset that we will deliver the best, and we deliver also. But at the end, we find out that many students, they can't get the concept what we intended to teach them. So fundamentally, there are some areas, which we need to look into. The first one is relevance. This is very, very important aspect of relevance. Whatever we are teaching to the students, can students connect with that particular concept? Is it relevant to them? Suppose in a management program, if I teach consumer behavior to the students, so I need to tell that the students that why they are supposed to know the consumer behavior. When they go to market, okay, they have to deal with the prospective customers, okay. So at that time, they need to understand them properly well. So can we connect that? So that's why most of the times we bring in a lot of hands-on experiences, we bring in industry perspective, we do role play, we do business games, we do some kind of simulation exercises, okay, and we bring in case studies to make the concept relevant. I think that's very, very fundamental. Whatever we are teaching to the students, are those concepts are relevant to them or not? That's one. The second aspect is reasonability. What we are teaching, whether those concepts are reasonable in terms of their learning skills, in terms of their learning abilities, whether those are reasonable, or whatever assignments we give to them. Are we giving proper time frame? Are we giving proper inputs to ensure that they come out successfully? Okay, with the assignments, with the presentation at the end of each class, can we make our teaching more reasonable? The third R out of 4 hours, which are very, very important, and because of which many students, they don't understand what we teach in the class. The third one is reward. What kind of appreciation, motivation, inspiration we give to the students, right? So that they have that natural urge to learn more and more. That's why it is said a true teacher inspires. Okay, inspiration is very, very important because most of the learning happens in self-learning space. The fourth hour out of this, the 4 hours, is the relationship. What kind of relationship as a teachers we build with our students, the rapport, the connect. I think that's also equally important. Whether students feel free in the class to raise their hand or ask any questions to us or not. I think that relationship is equally very, very important in the whole teaching learning process. We teach, but many students, they don't learn. So we need to ensure that these 4 hours, okay, what I just said, the number one is the reasonability. That's one is very, very important. The relevance, the reward mechanism, okay, the inspiration to the students, and the 4R is the relationship, what kind of rapport we build up with the students. That's why here comes in the counseling and the mentoring part. If we build good rapport with the students, so definitely we can, in the counseling or the mentoring part, we can find out exactly whether students are learning the concepts or not, what are the difficulties they have. Based on that, we can always have some kind of remedial classes, tutorials, or customized learning for a set of students who are not properly able to follow our teaching. Okay, so that's also equally very, very important. Why teachers teach and students don't learn? We all teach. We all go to the class with full preparation. We do a lot of homework before going to the class. But we see that at the end of the day, there will be some set of students who really don't grasp the concepts what we intended to teach them. That's why, see, in the many places what they do, they categorize the students, like there will be some gifted or meritorious students, there will be some average learner, there will be some slow learners. So if we can identify the set of students, okay, who are the slow learners, and we can find out or develop some mechanism to address those students or ask more questions to them in the class, try to find out whether really they have understood the concepts or not. We teach, they don't learn. So we need to find out why some set of students, because classes are highly heterogeneous in terms of students' learning abilities, in terms of their socioeconomic background, right? So given this diverse environment inside the classroom, I think this will be very tough. This is once again the one size doesn't fit all. Okay, that's why this is a famous picture in social media, and I'm sure that all of us seen this picture beforehand. This is what it is said that can we have, okay, the customized, at least, see, mass customization is not feasible in a class of 40 or 60 students. We cannot customize each for each individual, highly individualistic teaching learning, but largely we can form group. Okay, star performers, we can make a group. We can make a group of average learners. We can make a group of slow learners. Then we can develop strategy so that we can address each of these groups properly, so that to ensure that whatever we intended to teach them, they learn those concepts. Is it not corporatization of education? See, in many places today, we see that there is a lot of focus on placement, because the end, okay, the end of 2 years or 4 years based on the program duration, the ultimate aim is to get a job, good job in the corporate. So based on the corporate requirements, time to time, we develop the curriculum, we modify the curriculum, we bring in lot of no value added certificates and courses, try to meet the corporate expectation. But if you look at the education, the big view or the purpose of education is to create good human beings, is to develop the value system, right? Is to develop their analytical skills, their conceptual skills, their fundamental skills. No, those things are very, very important as a part of education. But because of their placement, because of the corporate expectation from the MBA or engineering or different programs, we give focus only to those specific areas wherein we can meet the corporate needs. So the question comes here, are we developing a 360-degree, no, holistic personality out of this college campus or not? I think that's a big question, and many experts, they call it that corporatization of education. We are corporatizing the education, just focusing on the skills, but we are not focusing on the other aspects like values, morals, developing analytical skills, develop a good human being, develop a good personality. I think those things somehow we compromise to ensure that students develop the skills what corporate look out of them so that they can get a good job. So this is one aspect. Today everyone is talking about industry institute gap. Okay, there is a huge gap. Okay, and there are a lot of reports by ASSOCHAM, CII, and different bodies that 80%, 90% engineers, okay, or MBA graduates are not employable because they don't have the soft skills, because they don't have the kind of skill sets, okay, or the knowledge or the abilities that industry look from them. So that's a big gap, and to address that particular gap, we have incorporated a lot of new mechanisms in our teaching learning process and in our curriculum to meet the corporate needs. I think beyond that corporate needs also, as a teachers, we need to ensure that we develop good human being, 360-degree personality, so that they not only get a good job, but they contribute for the society, they lead a happy, healthy, peaceful life. I think that's very, very important. Formal education versus skills. See, in the formal education system, if you look at, we'll find out that it's more about theoretical based or more about the information. It is more about the information based, whether students have really understood, gone through the syllabus, they have cleared the exams or not. But if we look at the skills, now let me just quote two examples. Before this pandemic, okay, Google, they waived off the formal qualification. Ernst and Young, long back they waived off the formal qualification as a recruitment criteria. They just look for whether the incumbents have the requisite skill sets, what they are looking for to fill a particular position in the companies or not. So they are looking for skills. And this pandemic, let me tell you, this pandemic is further reinforced this. Because of the bottom line, the profitability of the companies. Many companies are not looking for PG graduates, okay, and give more salaries to them. They are just looking for the individuals who have the skills, who have the abilities to perform their job. I think that is very, very important. And today what is happening? I get a lot of calls, a lot of messages at senior level, mid level, junior level. Many employees in the corporate are laid off. They're looking for a job. And this set of experienced employees, the individuals will be the competitors for the freshers, those who will be passing out in 2020 or 2021. So this is really a tough time, and where company is just focusing on the bottom line, the productivity linked with the profitability. I believe the companies will look for skills, not for the academic qualifications. But having said that, if we can ensure both the things are there, like formal educations along with that, if you can ensure the skill sets and make the students employable, I think that's the best combination what we can have. There is a beautiful saying. It says, being employed is always at risk, but being employable is safe. If someone is employable, means if someone has the KSA, the knowledge, skills, and abilities, okay, in that case, that person can get a job. If not in this company, he can get job in another companies or another companies as well. Education versus learning. See, these two things are very, very different. Education versus learning. But if two things are there at the same time, I think that's the best combination. In one of the webinars, no, I was discussing with one senior professor, and he was talking about, see, today there is no classes happening, face-to-face classes happening. It's all webinar, and still students are so much interested that they're attending webinar, they're going through Google, they're reading blogs, articles in academia.edu or researchgate or e-library, all the sources they're exploring and they're learning by themselves. I think today, at this unprecedented time, what is happening is learning. I think that learning is very, very important. You see the difference in this PPT between education and learning. Education is extrinsic, curriculum driven, passive, and the learning is intrinsic, curiosity, active learning. That means the hands-on learning, learning from the experience. Okay, it's about thinking, doing, and being. Thinking means we think. Okay, we are creative. Doing means we do it. Hands-on experience. And being means being a professional. Every time given a situation, we perform the job with perfection. I think the thinking, doing, being, that exactly is the learning. But we can have these two things together, education versus learning, provided we have a dynamic curriculum. At the same time, we incorporate innovative teaching learning processes in the classroom, inside the classroom, while we engage with the students. The rise of micro-credential. See, today, if you look at the education industry, is the only industry which has a huge growth, right? It's a huge industry. And we find today, Udemy, Unacademy, Simply Learn, and so many companies which offers micro-credential certification programs in specific area of artificial intelligence, blockchain, or some computer programming, competency mapping, NLP, okay, which are very emerging and relevant and much needed areas in the company, in the corporate sector. And these companies are doing wonder in terms of the revenue, in terms of the value addition. So this is the new kind of micro-credential. Now the question is raised again in this difficult time, whether many students will take up their formal course like MBA or B, they will join for the UG or PG programs, or they will just pick up the micro-credential in one particular area, develop the skill set, and join the corporate. Because companies are looking only for the skill sets. So in terms of the admission, definitely this will be another challenges, not because economically, everything is not good. Many parents are laid off from the companies. Okay, so financially, many students may not be viable to pay the fees for the UG and PG programs. They can look at, go for some micro-credential certification programs in one of the particular specific area, develop the skill set, join the corporate, earn some money for 1 or 2 years, gain some experience, then come back to the formal educations, whether it is UG and PG program. So I think that's a new kind of challenge for the academic institutions in terms of their admission. But this is something, what corporate is looking for at present time, okay, just to get the individuals who are competent. who have the skill sets, who have the day one skill set, who can deliver from the day one. I think that's the new kind of no environment today we are into. Knowledge versus wisdom. Once again, no, we know the difference between no data and the information. The process data is called information, and knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing not to use it in a smoothie. I think that's fantastic differences among data, information, knowledge, and wisdom. So what we all are looking at, knowledge, and probably based on experience in the coming years, we can reach to the highest level, which is wisdom. Now, today everyone is talking about STEM, right? Science, technology, engineering, and management. Okay, STEM. Now, if you look at STEM, from the STEM, we have come to STEM, and this extra A stands for arts. Okay, liberal arts. Now AICT has given permission to engineering colleges also to start social sciences, also side by side engineering program, to have multidisciplinary approach to ensure that no multidisciplinary research or holistic development of the students. Now today we are talking about not only STEAM but another E, that's about entrepreneurship. Okay, and when we talk about entrepreneurship, we are touching the idea of being creative, being innovative, being entrepreneurial. So today, not only the science, technology, engineering, management, because liberal arts people are highly creative people. Liberal arts people are highly creative people. At the same time, we need to have a compulsory course on entrepreneurship. I think that's also equally a very, very important area. And today, almost all programs, they have a course on entrepreneurship, and most of the colleges, they have entrepreneurship development cell or incubator inside the campus to ensure or drive some kind of entrepreneurial activities. Or in terms of no students looking for jobs, no, they can convert some of the really interested prospective students, those who want to become entrepreneur, give them the support mechanisms, to start their enterprise inside the college incubator itself during their program. I think a lot of developments are happening, particular in this area. Few tools for effective teaching learning process. Now here comes the teaching learning process. So let me tell you that teaching learning process has here, we human beings, right? Teachers and students, we human beings are part of this ecosystem. So whenever there are human beings as part of the ecosystem, we can have n number of different ways. We can come out with many innovations, day-to-day innovations, to ensure that we effectively teach the content and students learn them. So there is no end. I just mentioned that this particular FDP has 50 plus different ways. In fact, there is more than 50, maybe 100, maybe 150, because human behavior is so uncertain, and we all human beings are connected in this process. And in this process, each one of us can become highly creative and innovative in our teaching learning process to ensure that students learn what we teach. If we look at the typical teaching learning process, the black box, we call it the black box concept. We see there is input in terms of teacher and the student, and there is output. Now today we are talking about outcome-based education, and UGC has said by 2021, all institutions and universities must have outcome-based education, because as per the Washington Accord, we have the NBA, right? We have the NAC and the NBA accreditation process, and we are the signatory in the Washington Accord. What happens in the Washington Accord? Once a country becomes the signatory, their degrees are equivalent to the degrees offered by US or other countries. So we have achieved that long back. Now outcome-based education is another area everywhere they're focusing on. We must have the outcome-based education. In that outcome-based education, we need to identify what would be the student outcome in terms of generic skills and in terms of generic skills and in terms of day one skill sets. I think that's one particular area we need to look into. Now, this particular input, process, and output, and the classroom process, the teacher behavior, the student behavior. Now, I'll request all of you, because we have the 10 minutes, so please join back for the interactive session, because Zoom has given us only 40 minutes with the same user ID and the password. We can have more interaction, okay, with the same user ID and password. Please kindly note. Now, few tools for effective teaching learning process. What I'm trying to focus, the self-directed learning. I think most of the learning happens through the self-interest. Swami Vivekananda said that education is nothing but self-manifestation. When you put the students on self-learning mode, the best learning happens. Learning through play, activity-based learning. In management programs, we do a lot of role plays. Scenario-based learning. We give a particular scenario to the students and tell them to analyze and make a presentation. Game management games, the gamification, the game-based learning is another very effective way in the teaching learning process. The PBL, the project-based learning, is the most popular today. Give small minor projects at the end of each lesson and let the students in the group or individually make that project and give a presentation. I think that's the best way. As in today, the project-based learning is the most contemporary ways of learning today. Then peer-to-peer instructions, okay? Students can learn by themselves, make two students as a peer, give them some assignments and tell them to make a presentations. Schools to school instruction using Skype in the classroom is the same kind of thing what we're doing today. Learning through projects, in MBA, it's a very, it's a common thing, okay, to have summer internship and in-plant training. The problem-based learning, give a lot of problems to the students and come them with the solutions and make a presentations. The challenge-based learning, give new challenges to the students, new kind of projects, new assignments, right, which is on emerging areas, and let students go through the library, go through the Google it or Wikipedia and get the information and come with a presentation. Inquiry-based learning. Okay, I think that is very important. The inquiry-based learning. Once again, this inquiry is asking a lot of questions. Inquiry means creating inquisitiveness among the students. Can you encourage the students to ask a lot of questions, and in the process, learning happens. Mobile learning today has become very popular. Mobile learning, because of formal classes are not happening. Can we use the different applications? Baizu has the application. The Khan Academy has the applications. Likewise, there are so many mobile apps through which learning can happen. Gamified learning, gamification. In management, it's very popular to have management games on different areas, along with the simulation, the business simulation. Lab is there, where software is there, problems are there, real-time problem, and students need to solve it sitting in the computer, wherein if they can make a decision, wrong decision, what would be the impact on the company in terms of no financial loss, all those things can pop. I think that's also a very popular way of teaching learning in management. Cross-cultural project, okay? Cross-cultural project is a very common thing. It's a very common example. I'll give you cross-cultural project. If someone goes to, if students are asked to go to Coca-Cola website and find out the country-wise, they can find out that for each country, when they click the website, they find out the different advertisement, okay, on the home page of the Coca-Cola. Now students can be asked, can you make a presentations? Okay, what emotions, what appeal, okay, what cultural context that develop those kind of advertisement. I think that's fantastic way of teaching learning. Reciprocal teaching. Reciprocal teaching means the dialogue between the students and teacher. Okay, when students are given a material and they themselves are asked to go through, raise questions, try to solve the questions by themselves. If not, then ask the teacher to address those. flipped classroom. I think today what is happening is the flipped classroom. The digital board, the e-learning platform, the learning management software, these all are part of the flipped classroom. Face-to-face driver blended learning. Blended learning, what we are focusing on, that means some classes to be conducted face-to-face and some 30-40% of the classes to be conducted online. Blended learning means offline plus online, and it's very effective way of teaching learning process. Massive online open course, and today we find out edX, we found out Coursera, most of the IITs, IIMs, they have the massive online open courses, hundreds of courses are floated, good quality courses where students can enroll and get. Competency-based learning. Once again, once you say competency-based learning, this means it's highly individualistic learning. We try to assess the students, try to find out their competency level. Then based on their competency, we can teach them which area they can excel. Question-based learning. Ask a lot of questions to the students and then help them to learn. Debate, discussion, brainstorming. I think these are some of the things what as a teachers we do it. Mock trial, we do mock interview. Is it not? It's a part of the placement training. Okay, we do the moot court. Okay, mock exchange. Okay, so a lot of mock things we try to emulate to ensure that students learn what we intend to teach them. Non-academic video plus academic questioning. Video is very effective. YouTube, TEDx, a lot of good video stuff is there. Even as a teacher, we can develop our video, on particular module. We can post it to YouTube, give the link to the students the YouTube. They can learn in their own space. And today it's happening, right? Today it is happening. The video, teaching learning is happening, where teachers are uploading their videos and students are going through. The seminar symposium. Okay, seminar symposium, then we can keep on adding. I've just given the 50 as an indication. We can keep adding in terms of attending workshop, in terms of having innovation club, in terms of having entrepreneurship club, in terms of having industry expert, meet an entrepreneur. So these process continue. It's not just 50. We can keep on adding, and probably we can have in the more discussion in the question answer session in terms of being it no monologue kind of thing, because in the webinar it's necessary that we don't deliver everything because of the time constraint, because we don't meet face to face. So all of us need to come a little bit of preparations in the questions so that more interaction can happen at the end. I think that's the essence of the any program, any seminar, workshop, or symposium. Now Bloom's taxonomy is very, very important, which is again the fundamental in the outcome-based education. If we look at the 6 levels of Bloom's taxonomy, we need to move up from the remember to the create level, right? That is, we called pedagogy to andragogy to heutagogy. We need to move to the heutagogy, to the create position, wherein we can come out with new ideas, new thought process of our own. I think that's the ultimate. And in the Bloom's taxonomy and in the outcome-based education, this particular Bloom's taxonomy has given the, this is the fundamental, this is the base, this is the bottom of the pyramid in the outcome-based education. What is the program education objective? What is the program objective? The course objective, the learning objectives, right? And the evaluation tools and assessment tools in line with this. I'm sure that all of us, most of the institutions today have the outcome-based education and develop the outcome-based curriculum to ensure that what kind of skill set at the end of 2 years MBA or 4 years engineering program, they have specific skills, they want skills, and some generic skills in some analytical development, leadership development, all the skill sets what they're supposed to have. And to have those skill sets, how we can design the teaching learning process. To have those skill sets, how we can design the complete teaching learning process. From the time of students get admitted to the academic institutions till they go out of the college gate, and the complete process we need to take care. And there are a lot of innovations. See, I'm not talking about the premier institutions wherein very meritorious students come. So they learn most of the things by themselves. But the tier 2 or tier 3 institutions wherein we get the average learners, I think we have the big challenge, and we have a lot of satisfaction to mold them, to process them, and to make them a finished product. 360-degree overall personality development, so that they can lead a happy, peaceful, prosperous life, not only in terms of getting a good job or career progression, but also in terms of their happiness in the personal and the family life. I think that's very, very important. Happiness at the end